I think there needs to be some content of just being a real person. I think more people need to speak up about what actually happens when you're like a digital nomad. So a couple of things I think is really, really important is you got to be around the right people, right? I originally was doing it on my own, but I think living with correct people who are on your mindset and they're on the same level as you is only going to push you and accelerate you to become a better person every single day. And it's also like you're going to be the voice of those people. So depending on who you hang around with and depending on who you spend all your time with, it's going to be really hard for you to not have some of those qualities and not share some of those characteristics. So you are really a representation of the people that you are around all the time. For myself, I'm surrounded by JD. Actually, the first mentor I had getting into remote sales, and he has an incredible sales community called UCM. I really recommend checking it out. And I'm also surrounded by Kaz and them, who also works in UCM, and again, really good closer. And I've worked with loads of other sales guys a few months back in Nicaragua, and it's just like boosted my skill set. It's boosted my awareness, my relationship with money, my social circle. It's just, you need to be around good people, right? It's imperative. I think as well, you've got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because when you go to these places that are really remote and they're absolutely like gorgeous, they're so beautiful, you need to step out your comfort zone and go and meet local people or go and meet other nomads and just do things that perhaps in a normal mindset and a normal lifestyle, maybe when you're back in the UK working 9 to 5, you probably wouldn't go and do. Like there's going to be aspects that you've just got to force yourself out there with, you know. The nomad scene's really great because you meet people on the same level as you, but honestly I would say dating has been the catalyst for me to meet local people and speak the language and enjoy cultures and things that I just probably wouldn't have done if I was just in my comfort circle. And sometimes that is uncomfortable because you're going to be surrounded by a room of people that you don't know and you all speak different languages, or you're the only person that doesn't speak the language they're all speaking. And it does kind of become a bit lonely and a bit isolating, and sometimes it's a bit of a struggle. Oh, can I do this? Is it worth doing? I'm here now. I've built this image up so much and now I'm actually here. Like, is it all that it's planned out to be? And for me it was, and I fucking love it, to be frank. Like, I really do love it. But I'm also completely okay with being very uncomfortable. And I think you need to, because through discomfort stems growth, and that's how we all get bigger and all that cliche stuff. But it's fucking true. Depending on where you go, I think often in the space it's really built up that it's like cheap and everything is so cheap. I mean, Brazil's not cheap, and I'm in Brazil right now. And I think we're paying about 3K for this place. Depending on room size, I'm paying about $900 for mine. And it's beautiful. But then the cost of living is also something you need to consider. And that's why places like Thailand, or yeah, I guess Thailand and anywhere on that side of the world is really, really popular right now, because it has remained cheap. Other places in Latin America, however, are not. I mean, we're looking at, if you take Mexico, for example, the place is booming. The economy is thriving. Maybe thriving is a strong word, but it's getting better than it was 2 years back. The peso, the Mexican peso, is just strong. Like, it's actually just a stronger currency, and it's building up and building up and building up. So now, if you've got any idea that Mexico is this dangerous, dodgy, third world country, sure, it might still be third world, but it's on the rise. And you go to some places in Mexico, like Playa del Carmen, for example, it will blow your mind how built up and how developed it is, and the kind of characters and the kind of avatars that are living there have got money, they've got businesses, and they're thriving and living really well. And they're all in places like Mexico, depending on where you go, of course. So don't be like brainwashed by the fact that everywhere in Latin America is this really cheap place, because it isn't. I know Colombia is also in that gap. Last time I was there 2 years ago it was, but again, I think that's even becoming more expensive. I've just come back from Buenos Aires, and that's why I always do this when I speak. And that was, what, 2 months ago or a month and a half ago? And that was really, really cheap back then. But as we were there, we were literally seeing inflation. It was actually crazy. For example, you go and get money out of the Western Union, which is just currency exchange, and they had really good rates. So you get a certain amount of dollars out, it's going to mean a lot on peso. It was really good. Or the other way around, sorry, you have dollars, exchange it, you get a lot of pesos for your dollar. Well, interestingly, my friend Kaz, he got like a certain amount of dollars out, and then 2 weeks later, obviously inflation had increased. So the amount of dollars that he had, literally in a matter of days, was actually less valuable than it is right now. So the money he was holding was becoming less and less valuable every single day, essentially becoming poorer, you know. It's just really crazy. But Argentina is Buenos Aires is quite a cheap spot. But again, that's growing and growing and growing. The world is consistently changing, so don't let don't allow the digital nomad experience to think that everything is sunshine and rainbows, because it can become expensive. I know that a lot of people will say that it's really dangerous everywhere you go. And, you know, why are you risking your life to go to places like Colombia and Argentina and Brazil and Mexico? You're not. I don't believe that you are risking your life. Sure, there are other areas within these countries that you shouldn't go to, but isn't that just the same with everywhere? There are definitely loads of areas in London that I wouldn't go to, especially at night. You know, London, if you're looking at stats as well, is a far more dangerous place to live than somewhere like Medellin. It's crazy. If you actually Google this and you look at the stats, it will blow your mind, because you think what I'm saying right now is a load of rubbish. You check it out, and it comes to fruition. It's really, really crazy. And I guess one other aspect is about the whole like digital nomad experience, and I'm such a bad person for this, but like when you're living a completely different kind of lifestyle to your friends and to your family, and your friends are complaining about their job and they're complaining about living in London, you have the urge to be like, why don't you leave? You have the urge to be like, why don't you get out? Why don't you do this? Why don't you change your life? Why don't you transform it? And in my experience, I've done that out of the pure good of my heart, because I just care about my friends. But you've got to stop being a hero. Not everyone wants to be saved. And when you see the other side of the fence, where you see that the grass is greener over here, your natural reaction is to be like, all right, I'm going to go tell all the people I care about that they can do this too, and this is going to be amazing, and I cannot wait. Unfortunately, some people just don't want that. And from that, jealousy will spur, and you know, they might bring you down and criticize you for helping, and it just creates like a real ugly situation, and affects the dynamic of the friendship. So try not to be the hero and just enjoy it, you know. Try and just focus on you and why you're here, and build these connections and meet these people and have these experiences, and you're going to grow and live a fantastic quality of life. Perhaps the last part is you've got to have your bread up. You've got to have money coming in so that you can do these things, because although the UK is way more expensive, for some reason it feels a lot safer going broke in the UK than it does out here, because then you're in a sticky one. Then you are on the other side of the world. You can't you might not be able to afford to eat, you might not be able to afford to enjoy it, and then isn't the whole reason we're here and doing this to be happy and enjoy life? You know, it's fulfillment as well at the same time. And I've not gone broke whilst I've been traveling at all. Like, the money's good consistently, it's fine. But that's because I put a lot into my skill set and a lot into my dedication, a lot into my craft. And if you really want to live that like consistent, happy lifestyle while you're traveling and living and dating beautiful women from various parts of Latin America, when it comes to work, you need to just smash it. Like, you need to dedicate and commit to it. And it's hard because there's all these crazy, beautiful experiences going on that you want to go and jump in. But you need the bread to do that. So like, consistently reinvest in your skill set and reinvest in your education. And it's like, all right, cool. The money's coming in, and I know because of these things, I'm going to make more money. So now I can go and enjoy myself. But until you know consistently you're going to be making that money, or you can at least project it based on previous months, or you've got money saved up, or etc. Yeah, I don't think it would be that wise to move somewhere with that not established. The other side of the coin is you could bet on yourself and do it, but I just think that there's more to say when you've got it built up. But, you know, that being said, people, it's really there for the taking. You can do this. You watching this right now can literally go and do this. You can travel the world, you can live with amazing people, you can learn and you can upgrade everything in your life. You can become the best version of you, and you can focus on becoming more educated. You can have a better relationship with money. You can find a way to earn more money, bring in more income, earn way more than your friends in a 9 to 5, and actually just be happier than anyone, or happier than them too. But it takes a bit of balls. It does take a set of bollocks to be able to do that. And I just think you should do it ultimately. You should really, really do it. And there are so many amazing communities now where like you can learn a skill set and go all in. There's a bit of fear with that too, because this is considered like unsafe and unsecure and all that, but it doesn't really matter, does it? And if you do want to jump into remote sales, hit me up. I've got loads of connections. I've got really great people around me that have allowed me to get to where I am. And if it's something you're genuinely serious about, I could help you out too. I also have a community myself called UK Closers. We're taking over the game. So it's a fantastic group of amazing people, UK-based remote sales guys. And I'm sure that within the near future, that will be a monetized group, just full transparency, because I think that it should be. The value in there is too good not to be charged on, but it's also the relationships that you're going to stem from that. And I've got plans in the future to go and live with a bunch of guys from UK Closers. I hope the video's been cool. Good to see you all. And I'm gonna go crack on with the day now. I'll catch you lot in a bit.